I'm Dabrowski, and this is my third weather briefing. We're going to start off with national weather. This is a look at the surface analysis chart. There's a high pressure system in Maine, a stationary front moving through the southeast with a low pressure system off the coast of South Carolina, two high pressure systems on the east and west coast of Florida, a high pressure system off the coast of Louisiana. A cold front is moving through Wisconsin and Iowa, a stationary front through Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado. There's two low pressure systems in Kansas and Nebraska, a high pressure system between Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, a high pressure system in Colorado, a low pressure system in southeastern New Mexico, low pressure system right in the center of Utah, a high pressure system in northwest Wyoming, low pressure system in northern Nevada and northern California, low pressure system in central Washington, low pressure system right above Montana and Canada, and a low pressure system in Mexico just south of California. Here is the visible satellite for the United States. Across Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, there's some pretty heavy clouds. In South Carolina and right off the coast there's some more clouds there. There's a few scattered clouds kind of in the Four Corners area, and some more clouds in central California and Nevada. Here's the infrared satellite chart for the United States. You can see most of the clouds aren't doing much except for right on the border of Iowa and Nebraska. It's a little bit colder there, so those are a little higher clouds. And then right off the coast of South Carolina, though, there's some pretty cold clouds, so they're going to be pretty high also. And the water vapor chart for the United States. You can see the two areas we just talked about with Iowa and Nebraska, and then off the coast of South Carolina. Those are going to have the most water vapor, and so those are going to be the coldest and highest clouds. Here's the radar for the United States. This kind of shows what we were just looking at with the heavier storms off the coast of South Carolina and right on the border of Nebraska and Iowa, with some light rain through Minnesota, Wisconsin, the UP, and then up into Canada there. And the day one convective outlook shows some slight chance of convective activity on Iowa and Wisconsin, marginal surrounding that, and then just some general thunder across most of the south, up into Montana, and then through the other parts of Wisconsin that are not marginal or slight. And here are all the active SIGMETs for the United States right now. Not a whole lot's going on besides some convective SIGMETs on the border of Iowa, Nebraska, central Wisconsin, and again off the coast of South Carolina. Here are all the PIREPs for the United States right now. In California, there's both light turbulence and light icing. In the Midwest, there's some more light turbulence. And then in Minnesota, at 19,000 feet, a CRJ reported moderate clear air turbulence. And again, off the coast of South Carolina, there's some more moderate turbulence. Here are the lowest freezing levels for the United States right now. Across most of the country, it's between 15 and 17,000 feet. Between Pennsylvania and New York, that area, it's 13 to 15. North of that, it's about 10 to 13. And then in northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, and most of North Dakota, again, it's about 13 to 15,000 feet. Now we're going to take a look at the local weather. Here are the METARs for our area. This was last updated at 1645 Zulu. It's kind of hard to read the Grand Forks METAR right now, but it's 280 at 6 with few clouds at 25,000 feet. If you look in southern Minnesota and northern and central Nebraska, there's some spots where METARs are reporting marginal. And then in southern Nebraska, there's a couple METARs reporting IFR. Here is the visible satellite for our area. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on, but southeast of Fergus Falls, looks like there are some clouds down there. And here is the radar for our area, at the Bismarck radar. As you can see, still not much going on, but there is a line of rain from Iowa through southern Minnesota into Wisconsin, and that's probably where the clouds were coming from that were southeast of Fergus. And the PIREPs for our area, a couple light turbulence ones, and then the light to moderate PIREP over central Minnesota at 21,000 feet was reported by a 737. And now we're going to look at the forecast. Here are the low-level prognostic charts for the United States. The left side, we're looking at our 12-hour significant weather prognostic chart. Right off the coast of California, there's showing IFR conditions. And then through Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, looks like there's some marginal VFR conditions. And if you look on the right, the 24-hour significant weather prognostic chart gets a little more interesting. There's IFR all the way up the west coast. There is some moderate or greater turbulence in northwestern Montana and Idaho. You have a bigger spot of marginal VFR stretching from Colorado up the Midwest into Wisconsin, with a couple spots of IFR conditions within that. You got some more marginal VFR in southeastern Texas, and then in the southeast of the country, there's more marginal VFR, and then it looks like South Carolina and North Carolina and little bits of Virginia are covered in IFR conditions. This is the high-level prognostic chart. We'll start with the jet stream, how it's broken up like that, which means the parts that aren't shown are less than 80 knots, and the parts that are shown about 100 knots. Right above Vancouver there in that jet stream, you're seeing moderate or greater turbulence. Right above that is the lowest point of the troposphere at 27,000 feet. And then right between Dallas and LA, you can see the height of the troposphere. That's the highest it goes at 51,000 feet. And then right off the coast of South Carolina, and then stretching through the Midwest, you got some isolated embedded cumulonimbus clouds. Tops are 45,000 feet. The bottoms go below the height of this chart, so we don't know those. And again, between Dallas and LA, there's more isolated embedded cumulonimbus clouds. Again, tops 45, bottoms we don't know because it goes below this chart. Here's the day 2 convective outlook. You can see in our area we got a marginal chance for some convective activity, and again in northern Pennsylvania and western New York there's some marginal chance for convective activity. East of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, all the way to basically Maine, there's general thunder, and then west of Kansas and Nebraska, up into Nevada and Idaho, Montana, that area, there's another chance for general thunder. Here are the TAFs for our area. Not a very windy day for us or most of North Dakota. The TAF is saying variable at 6, greater than 6 statute miles of visibility, and few clouds at 25,000 feet. And it looks like variable or light winds are the case for most of North Dakota here. This is the winds aloft for Grand Forks. Nothing too crazy. Looks like the highest it goes is at 39,000 feet. It gets to be about 69 knots. Here's the aviation service forecast. Again, we've talked about most of this, but not a whole lot going on in our area. And across most of the south, there is isolated, scattered, and numerous thunderstorms, and then stretching from Kansas, Nebraska, up through Iowa, Minnesota, and into Wisconsin. There's some more isolated, scattered thunderstorms. Then again, off the coast of California, there's some IFR conditions.